students, welcome to Alpha C Learning Program Mathematics class. So far you have done circles and after that actually we have to go for conics. Okay, conics means actually it involves circle also, and after circle we are going to discuss about parabola, ellipse, and next one it is hyperbola. Okay, so conics means nothing but a circle, parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. Not only these, even pair of straight lines also. Okay students, so now we are going to discuss about what is a conic, etc. So conic means actually it is nothing but locus of points in plane such that the ratio of distances from a fixed point to a fixed straight line which is always constant. Okay, that means here suppose in plane I am taking a point P, isn't it? P1 or otherwise I am taking, and now suppose this is the fixed point, suppose I am taking as S, and the fixed line we are taking as here L. Okay, and now suppose if I join S to P1, this is the distance from a point on the locus to the fixed point, and next P1 to M, this is here perpendicular distance. Suppose we are taking this one as M1. Okay, so P1 M1 is the perpendicular distance. Now they are telling the ratio of here, that means here SP1 divided by P1 M1. Okay, SP1 divided by P1 M1, and suppose you got this value as here, suppose it is 2 units, and suppose I am taking the other one, that is here P2, and again you join with the same fixed point, and this one is here the fixed straight line, and it is suppose M2. Okay, then SP2 divided by P2 M2, this is also here how much here 2 units. That means suppose here you got this value as distances SP1 if you got 20, P1 M1 you might have got here, it is suppose the value 10, and then by this value you got here 2. And suppose I got this value as 24 and this value as 12, then again the value how much you got here 2. In this way, however the distances SP1 here it is 20 units, P1 M1 is here 10 units, again here SP2 24 units, P2 M2 suppose 12 units, but finally the ratio how much you got here, it is the same thing. That is the meaning of here constant ratio. So however you take the points on the plane, that means again in this way on the plane, if they are following this kind of strategy, then we can say the locus is nothing but a conic. Then what about here the name of fixed point? The name of fixed point is nothing but focus, and the name of fixed line is nothing but directrix, and whatever the constant ratio you are taking, that also having some name, and that name is nothing but here eccentricity. Some they call it as eccentricity and denoted by small e. Okay, so now what are here actually the equation? Once you know the definition, immediately you are going for the equation. So now I want to discuss about the equation of a conic. So what is the definition, students? First I have to consider here a fixed point known as here focus. Okay, and then we have to consider a fixed line known as directrix. Okay, so the name of this line is nothing but here directrix, and next the name of this point is here focus. And once you got these two, first these must be in our data, and once you came to know about these values, now the requirement is nothing but locus. Okay, locus of points in plane. Locus of points in plane means, suppose let us take here one of the points as P1. Okay, and now this is x1 comma y1, then if you join this and this one, then you can obtain here some distance SP1, one distance formula you can use, and P1 suppose it is M1 and it is nothing but the perpendicular distance formula. Okay, so SP1 and P1 M1. Now let us take this value as suppose some alpha beta, and let us take the line as here Lx plus My plus n equal to 0. Okay, so let's take here one of the line is this equation and the fixed point is here alpha beta. Then let us use here the concept of distance formula. SP1 is equal to how much you have to get here divided by P1 M1. Now they said here this is a constant ratio, and the constant ratio we are denoting here by E, right? And now let us simplify this equation, students. Now how we can simplify? Just by using simply the distance formula and perpendicular distance. Okay. Now if I do cross multiplication, SP1 equal to E into P1 M1. Then what about here distance formula? It is x1 minus alpha whole square plus y1 minus beta whole square, okay, under root of, and equal to E times this is mod of L into, what about here the other value, plus x1 plus my1 and plus n divided by under root of L square plus m square. Okay. So in this way I have taken exactly the definition. SP1 equal to E into P1 M1 for any point P1 on the plane. And now let us do here squaring both the sides. Then you will get here x1 minus alpha whole square plus y1 minus beta whole square equal to, this is E square into Lx1 plus My1 plus n whole square, okay, and divided by denominator L square plus m square, right? And now let us do here cross multiplication. If I do cross multiplication and simplification, observe students what is the final equation model. Okay, you will get here x1 square and it is multiplied by not only L square along with E square. Okay, and next here y1 square. Here also some other coefficient y1 square is having, so that you will get here one second degree in x and y value, and next value if you multiply here you will get xy term also present, and next here x term present, and next y term present, and after that again a constant value also present. As a whole, if you simplify the entire equation, the equation is of the form ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx, okay, and plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. So this is the standard form of here the second degree equation which can represent a conic. Okay. Now under what conditions we can define the conic as here parabola, ellipse, hyperbola, circle, etc. So first observe here what we have taken. If P1 is any point on the locus as x1 comma y1, S as our fixed point, and the line we have taken, the fixed line known as directrix, we have taken as Lx plus My plus n equal to 0. And once we have taken, we applied the definition, that is the ratio, which is nothing but distance from the fixed point to the distance from a fixed line. And distance from a fixed line implies it is nothing but here perpendicular distance. Okay. So SP1 you got how much here? E times P1 M1. Then we applied just a normal distance formula here, and here it is nothing but perpendicular distance. Okay. And after that, to avoid the square root, we just square both the sides. Then if you simplify the entire part, you will get exactly a second degree equation in x comma y. Okay. So that students, you can observe here equation of conic is of the form a second degree equation. Of course you have seen this equation already in your first year pair of straight lines. So finally let us observe here equation of conic, that is nothing but a second degree equation in x comma y. Let us represent it as s. Okay. So I am writing it as ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. Okay. So this is the equation, and if I put 0, it will be the equation completely. Now under what conditions we can say this value represents a conic. Okay. So let us suppose here I am taking, first of all of you know, if you convert the entire equation with a degree in x, that means a quadratic in x, or you can convert in terms of quadratic in y, then the discriminant is nothing but here abc plus 2fgh, and it is minus af square minus bg square minus ch square. This is the discriminant value. Okay. Now let us observe students here one by one what are different kinds of values. So as to this equation is representing parabola, ellipse, hyperbola, circle, etc. Okay. Now first condition is suppose delta is equal to 0. Okay. Delta equal to 0. And after that here I am taking this h square value greater than or equal to ab, and next you know f square greater than or equal to bc, g square greater than or equal to ac. Under all those conditions, the equation is representing here pair of lines. Okay, so here also we are getting the same thing, pair of lines. And now you can take here, I am first writing strictly greater than AB. Thereby we can say here these are nothing but distinct lines. Okay, strictly greater than, if I write distinct lines. And in this case, what is the eccentricity value? Pair of lines, whenever you consider students, the eccentricity, it is tending to infinity. Okay, eccentricity value tending to infinity when you consider pair of lines. Again, let us take here, suppose delta is equal to 0. Okay, delta is equal to 0, but value here I am taking h square is equal to exactly AB. Whenever h square equal to AB, you can consider this one as here exactly pair of parallel lines. Okay, pair of parallel lines, so same condition, E value. So this is pair of parallel lines, and in addition to this you have again AF square equal to BG square also. Okay, so this is the value, and h square is less than AB if I consider, that is nothing but here imaginary lines, isn't it? So h square less than AB if I write, then this is nothing but imaginary lines, but here the lines actually they intersect at exactly one real point. Okay, imaginary lines but intersect at one real point. So here real point you will get in this case. So these are all cases, students, we have taken when delta equal to 0. Of course, this you know about these two actually in your first year also from the concept of pair of lines. Now let us observe what will happen when delta not equal to 0. Okay, suppose if I take delta not equal to 0, but h square value greater than AB. Okay, so delta not equal to 0 but h square value greater than AB. Now I can say here this is clearly an hyperbola. So this is nothing but the conic is nothing but here hyperbola. Okay, and in this case the eccentricity value is greater than 1. Okay, and next one, suppose delta equal to 0. H square is AB, you know. Now I am taking delta not equal to 0 but h square is equal to AB. Then the conic is nothing but here parabola. Okay, and in this case E value is exactly equal to 1. Next one is again delta not equal to 0 but h square is less than AB. Then the conic is nothing but ellipse. Sometimes they call it as here an empty set also. Okay, ellipse or empty set, and in this case we say 0 less than E less than 1. Okay, students, so in this way you can observe clearly what will happen, the entire equation, the s equal to 0 under different conditions. What are the different conditions? First observation is delta, whether it is 0 or not. If at all delta is 0, the previous three cases what we have observed you can get, and suppose delta not equal to 0, we can say clearly these. And not only these, students, suppose delta not equal to 0, and here whenever this eccentricity value, understand, if E equal to 0, if eccentricity is equal to 0, then again under A equal to B and H equal to 0. Okay, when A equal to B and H equal to 0, clearly you can say the conic is nothing but a circle. Okay, so whenever we can say E equal to 0, A equal to B and H equal to 0, the conic is nothing but here a circle. Got all of you? So that means here the second degree equation is representing almost whatever we have studied up to now, the pair of lines, circle, and now whatever we are going to study, that is regarding parabola, ellipse and hyperbola. Okay, students, then how to find here the different terms are there, some terminology, a new terminology we are going to introduce, right? So students, till now what we have observed, what is definition of conic, and next one is what about equation of conic. Okay, so equation of conic is our old equation only, that is s equal to 0, second degree in both x and y. Under different conditions, just now we have observed what is that equation is representing. Okay, now some new terminology are there, students. Let us observe one by one. So first one, here itself we introduced, that is the name is focus. The fixed point is known as focus, and the fixed line we have taken as directrix, and the constant ratio we observed it is eccentricity. Okay, so now fixed point focus already you know, directrix you know, Basing on this here, axis means it is a line. It is a straight line which is passing through focus and perpendicular to directrix. Okay. So the line which is here, you write here the line which passes through focus. Okay. Which passes through focus and it is perpendicular to which one here? For focus and perpendicular to directrix. Okay. So this is the definition of nothing but the axis. Sometimes we call it as even principal axis also. So the line which is passing through focus and perpendicular to directrix is nothing but here the axis. Suppose this is a curve, conic we have taken, and this one is the fixed point you have taken. This is the fixed point focus and this one is the fixed line. Now here the line it has to pass through focus, at the same time it is perpendicular to the directrix. Therefore this is the line, actually we call it as axis of the conic. Okay. So this is now the definition of axis. And next one is here vertex. What is vertex of a conic? Vertex of a conic is nothing but here the curve is whenever the conic, whatever the conic you got, parabola, ellipse, etc. If the conic is intersecting the axis, then that point of intersection is nothing but vertex. Sometimes it may intersect at 2 points or sometimes it may intersect at only 1 point. Suppose the conic is like this and this one is our axis, right? Now axis and conic is intersecting at one and only 1 point, and this point is known as here vertex. And suppose this is our conic, okay, and this is a conic and here the focus is there and this one is the directrix. Now if the line is, that means this is the axis. Now here axis is intersecting the conic at how many points? At 2 points. Okay, at 2 points it is intersecting. Therefore here we call these two are vertices of that particular conic. So sometimes you may get only one vertex or sometimes we may get here 2 vertices. So what is the definition now for vertex? Actually vertex is nothing but the point of intersection of, okay, point of intersection of conic with which value here? Axis of the conic, okay, with its axis. So the point of intersection of conic with its axis is nothing but here vertex of that conic. And next one is chord. Chord, all of you know students, what is a chord actually? If it is taken, that means if this is one point on the conic and this is another point on the conic, and if I join these 2 points, then it is nothing but a chord. Okay, so now here in conic also we have taken a chord, that is the line joining any 2 points on the conic is nothing but chord of that conic. Okay, so this one already known definition, the line joining any 2 points on conic is nothing but chord of that conic. And next one, what about here focal chord? So focal chord means, students, just now we have observed the definition of focus. So for any conic, suppose I am taking this kind of conic, and for this conic this is our focus. Okay, and now this focus, suppose a chord is passing through the focus. There are many chords here. This is a chord, this is a chord, like this. Many chords are there. So particularly if chords are passing through focus, okay. So if chords are passing through focus in this way, then these kind of chords are known as here nothing but focal chords. Okay. So focal chords means that you can draw many focal chords here which are passing through exactly focus. So focal chord means, what is the definition? Chord which is passing through focus. Okay. So the chord which is passing through focus is nothing but it is focal chord which passes through focus. Okay. So this is focal chord definition. And next one is focal distance also there. What is focal distance? Understand? Focal chord is different from focal distance. So focal distance means it is nothing but distance from focus to any point. Suppose this is a conic we have taken and this one is the focus you got here, and if I am taking a point on the conic, then if I join, this is known as focal distance, and if you join, this is the focal distance. Like this, distance between focus to any point on the conic is known as focal distance. Okay, so focal chord means a chord which is passing through focus, and focal distance means here the distance between focus and any point on the conic is nothing but focal distance. Okay, and next one is here double ordinate. Very important students, this double ordinate. This is one of the important concepts here, double ordinate. So what is a double ordinate? Double ordinate means it is nothing but a chord, nothing but a chord. But this chord is a particular nature. The chord actually it is coming as perpendicular to axis of the conic. So if this is suppose axis I am taking, axis of the conic, and now if I am taking this is the chord, okay, it is a chord, but how is this chord actually? It is perpendicular to axis of the conic. So this is known as double ordinate, okay. Why we are naming it as double ordinate? Because of the reason whatever the portion it is occupying above the axis, it is occupying same portion below the axis also, okay. And now here again if I take in this way, so these are all known as here double ordinates. So double ordinate to a particular conic is not unique. You can draw so many double ordinates. The only thing is a chord which is perpendicular to axis of a conic is nothing but double ordinate. And next, after double ordinate, students, immediately the new name that is nothing but latus rectum. A very important concept, latus rectum. So latus rectum. Latus rectum is the combination of two definitions. Just now whatever we have observed. So what definitions we have observed just now? One is focal chord, the other one is double ordinate. If you plug these two definitions, so that is nothing but latus rectum. That means latus rectum means it is a chord which is passing through the focus as well as perpendicular to axis of conic. So latus rectum is nothing but here it is a chord. How is this chord here? Passing through focus, okay. A chord passing through focus, and at the same time what it has to do here, passing through focus, at the same time it must be here perpendicular to axis of that particular conic, comma perpendicular to its axis, okay. So it means here the conics. Therefore latus rectum means it is a chord which is passing through focus and perpendicular to its axis. This one you can read in other way also. That is, if focal chord is perpendicular to axis of the conic, that is again latus rectum. Understand? Focal chord, if it is perpendicular to axis, it is again latus rectum. Or you can say, if a double ordinate is passing through focus. Understand? Double ordinate is passing through focus, then also you can call it as latus rectum. So as a whole, here we have confirmed this one. Now other model definition is nothing but what here? Focal chord, which is, how is this focal chord? Perpendicular to axis of conic, okay. And the other definition is nothing but double ordinate, which is passing through which one here? Double ordinate passing through focus, okay. So in this way you can take about the definition of which one? It is latus rectum. So very important students, latus rectum definition. It is finally inside, that means just like a chord. But two specific qualities it is having. One quality is nothing but it is passing through focus. The other quality is nothing but it is perpendicular to the axis, right? And next one is here tangent at the vertex. Okay, the other definition you have to write is tangent at the vertex. So what about here? Tangent at vertex. So every meaning is in the word itself, right? The total meaning is in the word at the vertex. Whatever the tangent you are drawing, that is nothing but tangent at vertex. No, nothing is new here. Suppose this is the conic you got, and now if I take this one is the tangent, this is exactly at the vertex. And suppose if you take this one as the conic, and if you take here this is one vertex, so this is one tangent at the vertex, and this one also another tangent at the vertex. And suppose the curve is of this model, okay. Then this is tangent at the vertex, and this one also here tangent at the vertex. So total meaning is in the word itself, that is the tangent drawn exactly at the vertex of the conic is nothing but tangent at vertex. So the tangent drawn exactly at the vertex of the conic is nothing but tangent at the vertex. And lastly here the other definition is nothing but center of a conic, okay. So what is center of a conic? Suppose students, if I take a conic like this, understand? Now center means I am taking here different chords. So these are here different chords we have taken. But here you can draw certain chords which are all passing through. That means here this is a conic I am taking, and now this is one chord I have taken, and this is another chord, and next to this one is another chord, and next to this is another chord, like this. And what is the common nature of all these chords? They are all here bisecting at one and only one single point. Understand? If all chords are bisecting at a single point, that point is nothing but here center of conic. So for all these chords, students, what is the common part here? All these chords are here bisected by the same point. Then this is known as here center of the conic. And suppose the equation, whatever we are having, S is ax square plus 2hxy etc. This big equation we are having, right? So this is the equation we are taking, s equal to the entire thing, and to this equation, suppose if they ask you about, what about here center, okay? Center of this conic, easily you can say, students, it is nothing but the partial derivative with respect to x and the partial derivative with respect to y. So if I write dou s by dou x, okay, and next dou s by dou y. So all of you know about this partial derivative. What is this value here? A into 2x plus here we are taking partial derivative with respect to x, means treat y as completely constant along with other terms. Only x is our variable. So now here it is 2hy into 1 and plus it is 2g equal to 0. And now here dou s by dou y, that is equal to, what about this value here? It is 2hx and plus b into 2y plus this is nothing but 2f is 0. So if you solve these two equations, then we can obtain center of conic, okay? Center of conic you can observe by solving these two equations. Is nothing but here point of intersection of the two equations, dou s by dou x is 0, comma dou s by dou y equal to 0. Okay students, so in this way you can find easily center of a conic, okay? So now students, how they can ask here problems? So students, observe here how they can ask problems basing on this conic part. Till now we didn't enter into the concept of parabola, we are still in conic definitions, okay? So how they can ask here, few examples let us discuss. Determine the name of conic represented by the following equations. What is the name of the conic? So what should be our first observation? It is a second degree in x comma y. So if I take here the first problem, we have to compare with the standard equation. What is the standard equation? Ax square plus 2hxy plus by square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equal to 0. Okay. Then a equal to how much here? 13. And 2h is here minus 18. Right. And next b value is 37. 2g equal to 2. And next value 2f equal to how much here? 14. Comma c equal to minus 2. Okay students. So in this way we got here the values. And after that you have to check here whether delta value is 0 or not. What is the delta here? ABC plus 2fgh minus af square minus bg square minus ch square. Okay. Before that you can observe here one point, that is here h square value. H is here minus 9. H square means what is the value here? It is 9 into 9. So it is 81. Directly we can write. This is our h square. And what is here? AB value. It is 13 into how much? 37. So clearly students you can observe h square value is less than how much here? AB. Then we have, suppose in options if you find ellipse, parabola, hyperbola, pair of lines, then you can conclude it is an ellipse without finding here delta. Suppose here h square less than AB I got, and delta if it is equal to 0 you got, then the answer is imaginary lines and those two lines intersected one and only one real point. Now that's why here we must check about delta basing on our given options. If in given options just 4 conics given, that is here Suppose let us take circle, ellipse, hyperbola, parabola. Then no need of checking about once you got h square less than ab, no need of checking about delta value. But here we don't know what they may give, so let us check here this also. So in this one you got h square less than ab, and now substitute each of the values in this one, and then by delta value you will get here not equal to 0. As delta not equal to 0, h square less than ab, therefore we can confirm the first equation is representing clearly an ellipse. And in some other words they can give here empty set also. Okay students, so from this what is our conclusion? It is nothing but an ellipse. And now let us observe here the second problem. The second problem they are asking here, what about the conic the equation is representing. In the beginning the equation is given like this, but they said here both p and q are positive. Therefore let us do here squaring both the sides. Then you will get here px plus qy plus 2 times root of px into root of qy is equal to 1. And now I am writing here px plus qy minus 1 is equal to how much it is? Minus 2 root of px into root of qy. Okay. Now let us do squaring both the sides once again. Then you will get here p square x square plus q square y square plus 1 and plus 2pq xy, and after that minus 2qy, and next minus 2px, and this side you will get how much here? It is nothing but 4 times px into qy. Okay. Now let us write here all the values on one side. Then how much you will get here? Px square. Next I am preferring to write this xy term, and if it comes to this side it will become as here minus 2p times 2pq xy. Okay, and next value is plus q square y square, and next this one is here minus 2px minus 2qy. Finally the constant term you got how much here? It is 1. Okay, equal to 0. Now here you have to compare with the standard equation and check whatever the possible values. Okay, so what is a here? P, and h value minus pq, and b value how much you got here? This is q. So p square x square, so this one is here p square q square. Okay, so this is our value. A is p square, b is q square, and h equal to how much here? Minus pq. Understand? So whenever students, if you come across the first 3 terms, that is the homogeneous part, second degree here, second degree here, second degree. If the homogeneous part, whenever you observe it is as a perfect square, then clearly the total equation can represent either a parabola or parallel lines. To confirm that value, we have to check about here delta. So you can observe here clearly h square equal to how much here? AB you got. So what else you have to require here? About delta. Suppose delta equal to 0, then your answer is nothing but how much? Parallel lines. If delta not equal to 0, then your answer is nothing but that is nothing but parabola. Okay. So now what is delta here? ABC. ABC means p square q square 1. ABC, and next one plus 2fgh. 2 into f means how much you are having? Minus q, right? And g means minus p. And what about our h value? It is minus pq. Okay. So this is the value you got. And next one minus af square. So p square minus af square. F square means here q square. Okay. Minus whole square is there. And next minus bg square. So minus what is b value here? B is q square. And g square means again p square. Okay. Minus bg square. And after that you are having minus ch square. C is this value 1, and here p square q square. So again you got minus p square q square. So as a whole here you got 2p square q square, and this is minus how much you got? 2 times p square q square. So minus p square q square everywhere you got implies it is not equal to 0. So students, what is the final conclusion? The conic is nothing but a parabola. Okay.